Because they waited, these older millennials, they're shown here as being born between 1980 and 1989, younger millennials in the 90s. Because they waited, they now have 10, 15, sometimes almost 20 years worth of work and income behind them by the time they make their home purchase. And yes, the millennials have a lot of student loan debt. That's been written about plenty. But what hasn't been written about or talked about much is how fast millennials' incomes are growing nowadays. Millennials' incomes on average are growing at 11% a year versus 3% or less for the overall population. By the way, I hear older millennials talking about the younger millennials like, these punks. They don't know what's up. You know. Well, here's what we used to think we knew about the millennials. They like beanbag chairs in their offices. They go on Pokemon hunts. They want free food at work. They Instagram their food. They're idealistic, lazy, impatient, entitled, and still live with their parents. They would never buy a home in the suburbs and think that getting married is an outdated life choice. Most of that is untrue. Not the Pokemon hunts. That's really a thing. It was thought recently that the millennials wouldn't take a job if it wasn't meaningful or if they couldn't make an impact. But an interesting new survey from Pew Research shows that 75% of millennials would take a job that they don't even like if it would make six figures. Okay, so that scratches idealistic off the list. So millennials aren't all living in a hip downtown loft with the indoor bicycle storage and a maker space with a 3D printer. In fact, what percentage of the millennials do you think are living in a downtown at all? Anybody? 13%. 13% of millennials are actually living in a downtown location. And the life path is different. The life path used to be get out of school, get a job, get married, have kids, get a house. Now it's get out of school, move in with friends, get a job, quit the job because it's not meaningful enough, live abroad for a little while, come back, live back with your parents again, then go back to school, get a job, get married, have kids, and get a house. So the takeaway here, is that this is a generation of 80 million people. The oldest of them are approaching age 40. They did say that they would never, in the old surveys, they did say that they would never want to own a house in the suburbs. But now they're buying homes in the suburbs. They're doing things differently. 80% of millennials who bought a house found it on a mobile app. And get this is almost unbelievable. It's a survey from Redfin showing 41% of millennials who bought a home made an offer on a home sight unseen. Now, another thing about the millennials, they were slower to get married, but they're quick to get divorced. Quick to get divorced. Now, this is going to sound icky, but that's good for housing demand.